What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown video for UFC 302. We have Islam Makhachev going against Dustin Poirier, and we are back after a week off last week, and yeah, getting right into it. I mean, this card's phenomenal. I'm loving this card from a fan perspective, from a betting perspective. I do have 16 bets. The majority of those, of course, plus money. And yeah, looking for some spots here, looking to make some money. Before we get into it and break it all down, if you guys could, please do me a favor. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, be on the lookout for more content. Going live for Best Bet, 4 o'clock Eastern Time on fight day, 2 hours before the prelims. Have a stacked panel for you guys for UFC 302. And if you guys have been watching me for a while now, I'll never say anything is a lock. I'll never say anything is a free square. But I have a free square for you guys, and it is on Prize Picks. If you guys have not checked out Prize Picks, now is a great time to do so. On Prize Picks, they do have a free square. It is Dustin Poirier to get more than 0.5 significant strikes, which means he needs one significant strike, and I think he can do it. If you guys want to check that out, use the promo code DFSBTN. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100. So get your deposit match, get your free square, and put it in. And if Dustin gets 0 significant strikes, I don't know what to say. It'd be quite embarrassing. But hopefully he does. Hopefully he hits that. I don't see why he shouldn't get at least one. So, but yeah, back to this. As always, going to be breaking down these fights from a betting perspective and a betting perspective only. If you guys want a further, more in-depth breakdown on why I'm picking who, I did do a full card breakdown video on Monday. Did a Friday final thoughts on Friday. And then now we're going to be talking some betting here. So, yeah, with all that out of the way, I say we get into it. We're going to start with the first fight of the card. We have Andre Lima going against Mitch Raposo. And yeah, so I think Raposo is a live dog. I think he's certainly a live dog, especially at this line. I think Andre Lima being minus 270, minus 300 is crazy. With that said, Mitch Raposo has a lot going against him. Mitch Raposo is taking this fight on about 10 days' notice, and then this morning at weigh-ins, Andre Lima shows up, and he didn't only miss weight by a couple pounds. He missed weight. He weighed in like 130. So that is, in my opinion, a massive advantage for Andre Lima because, for one, he didn't have to completely suck himself out to get down to 126. Didn't have to kill himself to make weight. Two, Raposo's going to probably try to grapple here, and that's going to be a big advantage in favor of Lima. So, yeah, after seeing the weigh-ins, I think that, Lima probably does win this fight, but I just don't see how he pays off this price tag unless he is getting a finish. And with that said, I think an Andre Lima submission is very live here. And I did take a quarter unit sprinkle on the Andre Lima submission. Mitch Raposo, his only professional loss comes by submission against Jake Hadley. Jake Hadley was able to take him down and submit him quite easily. Andre Lima has 0 subs on his record, but he is a black belt in BJJ. And this is one of those bets where I'm not sure if it hits, but what I am pretty sure of is I think Lima's going to at least attempt a submission or two, because Raposo, he's going to be grappling. I think Lima's going to attempt some subs here, and I just don't really like the ground game of Raposo. So I think if this fight does go the distance, though, it's going to be close. But with the weight advantage and the short notice things, I'm not sure I want to get to that Mitch Raposo money line. It's something I looked at, but after the weigh-ins, after the cheating of Andre Lima, missing weight by like 5 pounds, I'm just going to stick with the quarter unit sub prop for Lima there. Other than that, and to be honest, I probably wouldn't even have pulled the trigger on the sub prop had I saw the weigh-ins. I probably would just stay away altogether. But I think the sub, it could be live here, but not a fight I'm all that interested in, including this next one, Eileen Perez, Jocelyn Edwards. I like Perez here to win. It's just minus 200 on Perez. She could look minus 200 or greater, but I don't know. Perez, the one thing keeping me off, I think, is that third round against Lucy Pudilova, where she looked good for the first 2, but the third round comes around, she just had nothing left. She was completely done, and she was really close to getting finished. And I think if it was somebody, other than Lucy Pudilova, maybe she would have got finished in that third round. The other thing is Jocelyn Edwards. She's young. She's probably making improvements. She's training at a really good gym in Extreme Couture, and maybe her take defense is improving. If it is, I think she is live here. But, I just haven't seen it yet. So I think Perez is going to mix in takedowns here and probably win a decision, 29-28. But minus 200, it is what it is. I think she wins, though. Next, we have a Mickey Gall going against Basil Hafez, and yeah, this is a fight I really want nothing to do with. There's just so many question marks. First and foremost, I mean, this price tag is kind of silly. Hafez minus 370. It's one of those fights where it's like, do I want to lay minus 370 on Hafez? Absolutely not. But do I want to place a bet on Mickey Gall to beat somebody in the UFC? Absolutely not. So it's just a pass. I mean, I think Hafez wins this fight. It's just how does he win it? I'm not sure. I think it could be in any method, decision, knockout, or submission. But minus 400, I can't get there. So pretty easy pass for me. I think there's better spots on the card. Next, we have Alex Morona going against Nico Price. Yeah, one of my favorite fights here. So they actually moved this fight onto the main card just recently here. And I can kind of see why. These guys are going to stand and bang until one man falls. And what I like here more than anything is going to be the under 2.5 rounds. I have one unit on the under 2.5 rounds at minus 130. Was able to beat some line movement there. I think it's, and I was actually expecting it to move a lot more, but it looks like it's still like minus 145. I think that's decent considering, again, these guys are going to stand and bang, and I question the durability of both fighters, especially Nico Price at this point. Nico Price is one of those guys who's taken a ton of damage throughout his career. I think the damage is finally starting to catch up to him. So I think Morona probably does knock him out, but, you know, Price is dangerous in his own right, and Morona has been knocked out plenty of times himself. Give me the under 2.5 rounds here, one unit minus 130. Next, we have Jake Matthews going against Phil Rowe. Another pass. Jake Matthews, it's favored to pass here for me. It's Jake Matthews or pass. It's just Jake Matthews is one of these guys who is certainly inconsistent. He's dropped the ball not once, not twice, but many times. Like a handful of times he has dropped the ball as a favorite even. So, I'm not a big fan of Phil Rowe. I think, I haven't really been impressed with any of his wins. All of his wins are come from behind wins against Kosi, Witt, Nico Price, But, I think Jake Matthews should win this fight over 15. It's just we've seen Jake Matthews make mistakes. We've seen bad decisions in the cage. We've seen him, again, just drop the ball. So it'd be favored to pass, but I struggle to lay a minus number on Jake Matthews these days. Next, we have Grant Dawson going against Joe Selecki. And yeah, Grant Dawson's a massive favorite. He's approaching minus 600 now. And although I like Grant Dawson a lot, I wasn't expecting him to be, that much of a favorite. But a lot of these lines have gotten blown out. I have a few spots here. So I think it's a great matchup for Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson, when he's losing, he's getting knocked out. And he's going against Joe Selecki, who has 0 power and 0 knockouts. If he gets knocked out by Joe Selecki, it's probably time to hang up the gloves. I mean, that'd be terrible, but I don't think that's happening. I think Grant Dawson is the much better wrestler, and I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think Grant Dawson's going to be the one getting on top, getting in control positions, getting into dominant positions, and I think Grant Dawson is live to not only win this fight dominantly, but win it late, win it inside the distance late. So what I have here is a Grant Dawson round 3 decision. 1 unit minus 137, which means he can win it in round 3 or decision. I like that spot. I think it's a great way to get that Grant Dawson money line down to anywhere from minus 137 to minus 150. And then I also sprinkled Grant Dawson round 3 because you always got to do it. I mean, it's death taxes and Grant Dawson round 3 plus 1,000 for a quarter unit. Was not expecting to get that good of a number considering Grant Dawson has multiple finishes in the 3rd round. Madsen, Gordon, Leo Santos, you name it. So yeah, I like the round 3 in general. And then what I also did was I sprinkled both the 2nd and 3rd round knockout for Grant Dawson. The 2nd round knockout, 0.15 units plus 1,700. Round 3 knockout, 0.1 units plus 2,400. It sounds like I'm going all in on Dawson. I only have 1.5 units on the fight, but I'm looking to hit big. I'm looking to hit one of these round 3 props. So yeah, Grant Dawson round 3 decision, Grant Dawson round 3, Grant Dawson KO 2-3. I think Grant Dawson's going to have opportunities. Joe Selecki's been finishing half his losses, 2 by knockout. Grant Dawson will get takedowns, will get control time, will get into dominant positions, and once you're in dominant positions, it's going to open up some ground and pound. Joe Selecki, he is a black belt. He is competent on the mat for sure, but I don't think his cardio is great. And again, Grant Dawson has some GMP victories. So yeah, attacking Grant Dawson and think he gets it done late. If not, I think it's a dominant decision. Moving on, we got Roman Kopylov going against Cesar Almeida. And yeah, I like violence here as well, but I am playing the violence a little bit differently. So Roman Kopylov has, how many fights does this dude have? 15 fights, and believe it or not, Out of those 15 fights, only one of those fights have finished in the first round. Other than that, it's round 2 or it's round 3, whether he's winning or whether he's losing, and that's kind of how I see the fight playing out here. I think whoever wins this fight is going to win it by knockout, and I think it's going to be attritional. I like, instead of playing like the under or the fight ends in a decision at a minus number, I played the fight ends in round 2 and ends in round 3. A half a unit, fight ends in round 2 plus 420, then a half a unit, fight ends in round 3 plus 700. And I've been doing this method for Kopylov for the longest time. I mean, I bet Kopylov round 2 against Claudio Ribeiro. I bet Fluffy Hernandez round 2 against Kopylov, and so on and so forth. It's just, his fights end in round 2, 3. It's not much else to say. I think if this fight does end in round 1, it is going to be Cesar Almeida, and that's certainly on the table. But I think this fight gets extended a little bit, and I think somebody gets served late down the stretch. Everybody is on Almeida. This line is moved. This line is flipped. I think it can go either way, personally. So I'm not touching the money line, but I do think somebody gets knocked out in this one. Moving on, we got Randy Brown going against Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. This is the one fight on the main card where I do not have a bet. The pick is Randy Brown, younger guy, longer guy. It's just laying chalk on Randy Brown's not something I love doing. He fights a lot closer than he really needs to be doing in some of these fights, like the Trinaldo fight. Even the Turman fight was closer than it needed to be. Don't trust him. I think this fight could even play out close. I think Brown wins, though, and bound by decision, but no interest from a betting perspective. Next, we got Jailton Almeida going against Alexander Romanov. I have way too much money on this fight, so first and foremost, I love the under 2.5 in this matchup. I got it at minus 185 for 2 units. That line has been completely obliterated, so at this point, I still think it's a parlay piece. I think fight won't start round 3 is solid. I struggle to see this fight going, 12.5 minutes, but I'm on the under 2.5. At minus 185 for 2 units, and then I'm also on the fight ends by knockout, plus 225 for a half a unit. I think both these guys are quitters. I think that both these guys have a lot of quit in them. I think whoever gets on top is going to have success in this matchup. I think it's going to be Almeida being the one getting on top, and once he does, I think it could be over shortly after. I really feel like this fight could end in the first round, just because we've seen Romanov gas out before. We've seen him gas out badly in the first round. In the first round against Volkov, he gassed out in the first 60 seconds. And this is a fight where it's going to be a hellacious pace, unlike the Bigla Ivanov fight. I think both these guys are going to get pushed, and once somebody ends up on bottom, I think they're going to look for a door, and I think it's going to be a TKO. I like fight ends by knockout plus 225. I think that's a solid number. Under 2.5 rounds, 2 units on that. And Almeida 2-3. I know a lot of people are on that. My concern is I really think it could be like end of round 1 type thing. But yeah, I like Jailton here. Minus 330 is wild. I still think he's a little flaky. Still not 100% sold and bought in on him. But I think this is a spot where Almeida gets back on track and TKOs Romanov in this fight. Fight ends by knockout in the under for me. Next we have Kevin Holland going against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. So a lot of untrustworthy fighters on this card. Kevin Holland is certainly one of those guys, and I still bet on him here. Because if Kevin Holland loses this fight, he should be just ashamed of himself. I mean, Kevin Holland should not be losing to Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. If he loses to Mikhail, it's his worst loss, and it's not even close. It'd be a terrible look, and if he's losing to Mikhail, he should probably hang him up. Which is crazy. He's only minus 280, but that's because it is Kevin Holland, and he makes the worst decisions imaginable. If Kevin Holland was smart and had fight IQ, he would wrestle here. He is not going to wrestle. I can assure you that. If he does, he's looking minus 10,000, but he won't. He's not. I do think these guys are going to strike, and I still like Holland a lot in this matchup. I don't trust Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I don't trust the cardio. I don't trust the durability. This guy's been finished in 6 of his 7 losses. And on top of that, there's a lot of narrative surrounding Oleksiejczuk. This is a guy that, is not with a camp, doesn't have a camp. He's not with a gym at this point. He's training with his buddies and is taking this fight on short notice. Both these guys are. This is a recently added fight within the last couple weeks. So, yeah, I'm not sure Mikhail's taking this seriously. And quite frankly, I'm not sure Holland's taking anything seriously. But even then, I still think Holland goes out there and wins this fight. So the obvious spot here is Kevin Holland by sub. Everybody likes it. Everybody's on it. That's why it's only plus 225. That's not good enough for me in a fight where I doubt he shoots takedowns. So what I did was, yes, the sub is live, but the knockout's also live. I just took inside the distance for Kevin Holland, 1.5 units, minus 105. I think Holland finishes this fight. I think it could be early. I think it could be late. I think it could be knockout. I think it could be sub. Just give me the inside the distance so I don't have to yell at my TV screaming, shoot a takedown, Kevin Holland. Shoot a takedown. What are you doing? So yeah, just get a finish. Get a finish. I don't care how it happens. So Kevin Holland inside the distance for me. Next, we got the co-main event, Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa. And I'm just on the over here. I got in on the over 2.5 rounds early, 1 unit, minus 160. And I'll just keep it at that. It's a Sean Strickland fight, probably going 25 minutes. If it doesn't, it's probably because Costa got the knockout. But I doubt seeing that. I mean, considering Costa hasn't had a knockout in, what, 7, 8? It's been a long time, like 7 years, and didn't knock out Luke Rockhold, I think, which is a massive concern. So I think this goes 25 minutes. I think Sean Strickland wins the fight. Again, 250 for Sean Strickland, minus 250. It could end up playing close. We get a lot of weird scorecards in these Sean Strickland fights, so I'd be kind of wary of that. Sean Strickland 4-5 decision makes sense to me, but just give me the over, and we'll keep it at that. Just give me 12.5 minutes of this fight. If you guys know me, you guys know that I typically don't play overs unless I have a very good reason, and I think a Sean Strickland 5-round fight is a good enough reason to pull the trigger on it, just for a unit, though. And then finally, we have Islam Makhachev going against Dustin Poirier. Islam Makhachev around minus 600 to minus 700, which is definitely crazy, but you know it is hard for me to make a case for Dustin Poirier. I really like this spot for Islam, and I have multiple bets here. The first bet is it's Islam by submission. Keeping it simple. This guy's a minus 700 favorite. How's he going to win? Is it by decision? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt this fight's going 25. I actually think the knockout is more likely than that decision. But even then, Dustin Poirier, he is very durable. I think it's submission, and getting the submission at plus money, I just couldn't pass it up. So I'm on the sub in general, 0.75 units plus 100. And then I'm also on the 2-3-4 for Islam. I think that Dustin can at least survive these first 5 minutes, but after that, I think he is in trouble. And you take a look at Dustin Poirier 5-round fights, over half of them are ending in the second or the third round. So give me Islam by sub, 0.75 units plus 100. And then I'm also on Islam round 2, 0.75 units plus 450. That's when I do think the finish happens. Islam round 3, half a unit plus 750. And I don't think it gets there, but Islam round 4, quarter unit plus 1,300. Looking for an Islam sub in the second, third, or fourth round. They do on FanDuel and Bovada, they have Islam to win by submission in the first, second, or third round at plus 150. I don't hate that, but those are the plays I'm on. Islam sub, and then Islam to win in round 2, 3, or 4, all sprinkled. So looking for Islam to get it done. So there you guys have it. I'm going to do a really quick recap of the bets for this week. I know I have a lot of them, a lot of plus money sprinkles, but like I said, Islam sub, Islam 2-3-4 sprinkles, 0.75 units on round 2 plus 450, half a unit on round 3 plus 750, and then a quarter unit on round 4 plus 1,300. The sub is plus 100 currently. And then we have the Sean Strickland Paulo Costa over 2.5 rounds, minus 160. Kevin Holland inside the distance, minus 105, 1.5 units. Jailton Almeida, Alexander Romanov, fight ends by knockout, half a unit plus 225. The under 2.5, 2 units minus 185. Kopylov, Almeida, fight ends in round 2 plus 420, half a unit. And then fight ends in round 3, half a unit plus 700. We got Grant Dawson, round 3 decision, 1 unit minus 137. Grant Dawson, round 3, quarter unit plus 1,000. Grant Dawson, round 2 knockout, 0.15 units plus 1,700. And then Grant Dawson, round 3 knockout, 0.1 units plus 2,400. Other than that, nothing on the Matthews fight. Moreno Price under 2.5 rounds, 1 unit minus 130. And then a quarter unit sprinkle on Lima by submission plus 850. And that is about it. 16 bets. And I believe laying chalk on 4 of them. So 12 plus money bets. I like it. So yeah, there you guys have it. If you guys could do me a favor, like on your way out, subscribe to the channel. Also be sure to check out dfsbythenumbers.com. That's where you'll find all my other content, early bets, betting articles, and then also we have Contender Series coming up as well. And then lastly, Do got to shout out Prize Picks. Again, I never say anything's a lock, anything's a free square, but come on. You know, Dustin Poirier can get one significant strike here. You got to think. Use that promo code DFSBTN, get a 100% deposit match, and get your free square right there. There you guys have it. Best of luck for UFC 302, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you.